What the hell is Saw Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
Guys are from Free Love, man.
What is up, Sauce Nation? It is your boy Hector Flores, and we're going to talk about the players that the Astros drafted in this year's edition of the MLB draft. Now, this draft was a little bit different, well, completely different from previous drafts, with obviously the fact that there was only 5 rounds versus the traditional, or not traditional, but the usual 40 rounds. Which that sounds like a lot. But so now they only went to 5 rounds, which kind of sucks because the guys that didn't get drafted now can go in as undrafted free agents, but their max that they can make is $20,000. And when you really think about those guys from round 6 through 10, which is some really prime spots that you could think of. For example, Dallas Keuchel was once in that region, so that's kind of something just to think about. But yeah, I didn't really like it, but you know what, the Astros may do what they had, and the fact is that the Astros were without a first and second round pick due to their punishment for the sign stealing scandal. And so I'll talk about it, though. They do technically have a second round pick, but it's not because of... I'll explain it. But anyway, so I'm going to give you guys who they drafted and just kind of how I feel about them, if they've been signed or not yet as well. I'll also mention it because these guys can choose to not sign with the Astros and go back to either pursuing college, continue their college career, or go into their college career as well. So they still have that option. But I'll explain to you guys a little bit about what the Astros did as far as their draft picks go. So if you guys want more content on the other teams in H-Town, like the Astros, the Dynamo, the Rockets, or any other teams in the Houston area, make sure you guys subscribe to Sauce Sports TV. Now, there is another channel, which is Sauce Sports. They cover majority of the Texans, and then Sauce Sports TV covers the rest. So this is the channel to get the other teams in H-Town. And if you guys want a little bit more of a discussion with guys from the Roundtable, like myself, or with Ed Honcho, make sure you guys join the Patreon. Sign up for that $5 tier, and it'll put you in our private Discord where you can not only speak with us, but with other Patreon members. And it actually is a really good conversation, so I highly recommend it. So without further ado, let's get going with this video. So the first pick that the Astros had was in the second round, which once again, I understand that the Astros are without a first and second round pick, but this was off of a compensatory pick because of the fact that the Astros didn't get Garrett Cole, which is kind of the benefit of getting him. And in that spot, which was number 72, the Astros got Alex Santos, a right-handed pitcher from Mount St. Michael Academy. It's a high school, so he's very young. The one thing about him is that, man, the kid is 6'3", he's 183 pounds, and he was going into this season, he's ranked the number 25th prospect. And into this draft, he was the 45th overall prospect in this draft by Baseball America. MLB currently has him at 56 in the draft. So, honestly, to get him in the 72nd spot, honestly, that's a steal. So, like I said, man, the kid has a lot of potential. He's already pitching towards the mid-90s with his fastball, so that there is showing some signs that he's got a lot of potential ahead of him. Are we going to see this kid right away? No. You guys know that, especially when it comes to pitchers, they want to take their time with these guys and really wait it out, especially since he's 18. From what I've heard, he did commit to Maryland, but from what I'm hearing, he's planning on signing with the Astros, so he will be part of the Astros system. But don't expect to see him right away unless he starts going real quick. But I think with his potential and with the pitching staff that we have here at the Houston Astros, I think he's going to be a great addition to this team. All right, in the third round at 101, the Astros drafted Ty Brown, right-hand pitcher out of Vanderbilt. And I'm just going to say this right now. If there's a college to get players from, Vanderbilt is definitely the school. They are a solid baseball program. So just hearing that name alone, I'm already pretty impressed by this guy. Now, this guy is a closer. In his sophomore season, he had an ERA of 2.19 and had 65 strikeouts in 49.1 innings. His junior year, obviously, didn't finish full out because of what happened with this pandemic, but he still had a very respectable 2.53 ERA and 14 strikeouts in 10.2 innings. So pretty solid. He's 6'4", 242 pounds. He has already 4 really good pitches. And he just knows how to strike people out, which is what you want from your closer. There was rumors that he was actually planning on returning to Vanderbilt for his senior year, but he already announced it on Twitter, I believe, that he will be signing with the Houston Astros. So this guy, I think, maybe will come in a lot sooner versus Alex Santos, but still will be with the farm system for a while. He's a closer. It's definitely something that we're going to need to address in the future, especially where we don't know what's going to happen with Roberto Osuna. But with Brown, you have someone in the workings that you guys that obviously the Astros can go ahead and bring in. And once again, when it comes to the Astros, man, getting pitchers with the pitching staff that we have, they do such a real good job with developing these guys. So I think that anytime they get a pitcher if they have some raw potential, or maybe they have already that it factor already established, it always benefits the Astros in their way because they know how to work with these guys. So I'm all about Ty Brown, and I think he's going to be a great closer, or at least a great part of the bullpen in the future. So in the 4th round, with the 131st pick, the Astros drafted Zach Daniels, outfielder out of the University of Tennessee. The word to describe Zach Daniels is basically, he's got a lot of potential, man. That's basically the word to use, potential. He has been improving. So in his first 2 seasons, his first year he batted a 161, and then the following year batted a 200. But then going into his junior year, before all this pandemic broke down, he was batting at 357, had a 1.228 OPS, had 8 doubles and 4 home runs. So pretty, signs of improvement. So you kind of like what you saw. His power is above average, I would say, at least raw for right now. But his speed, this kid has speed, and I think that's the one thing that they definitely like. And the fact that he can play on all 3 sides of the outfield. So that works out. He does have an average arm for the outfield, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think with his speed, he can at least track down the ball. So, I mean, he's going to get better. I think that's the way to look at it. So, honestly, the Astros need to start looking at some outfielders, and I mean, he's pretty decent for what they have for right now, but could get better and could become something further down the road. So I do like this signing. So for their last pick at 160 in the 5th round, the Astros pick Shea Whitcomb, shortstop out of UC San Diego. One thing you gotta take, man, this kid is very consistent when it comes to his hitting. As a freshman, he batted a 310, 432, 437 slash in 59 games, and then next year he just got better with a 314 batting average. Had 25 doubles, 11 home runs, and that was in 57 games. And then going to his junior year, also going up there with a 333 batting average in just 20 games. I mean, that's pretty solid. And then in the Cape Cod League, he actually had a 976 OPS. So this kid looks really solid. Don't necessarily believe he's going to stay as a shortstop. He'll probably become a second baseman, or at least if he keeps hitting like the way he's hitting, the team's going to find a place for him to play. But I think Shea Whitcomb can definitely be something solid. There's no real official word yet if he has signed with the Astros as of right now, but I mean, he looks pretty solid. Aside from maybe wanting to be an even higher draft pick, but I mean, 5th round pick is not that bad. It's not a bad place to be in. So I would imagine he'll sign with the Astros. I mean, he looks really solid. He looks like he's not going to instantly become a professional, like in the majors or be in the show, but he'll definitely be a guy that's going to be floating around for a bit. And if anything, maybe be used as a trade asset as well, because I mean, if he can perform like this with a wooden bat, I mean, who's to say what this kid can do? But so that is the last draft pick from the Astros in the 2020 draft. So as of right now, the Astros have made 9 undrafted free agent signings, which is impressive because I mean, the fact these guys can only get $20,000. But I mean, I guess these guys are believing in themselves and feel that they can actually do something with their careers. So I mean, props to these guys. They're going to invest in themselves, and I mean, good luck to them. So here are the guys. I'm just going to say their name, what position, and what school. So let's go for it. So starting off, we have Jimmy Enzerby, right-handed pitcher out of Concordia, Irving, California. Justin Durden, outfielder from Southeast Missouri. Cesar Gomez, right-handed pitcher from University of Texas in Arlington. UT Arlington has a pretty good baseball program. Hunter Pence came out of there. Gonna try not to cry about that. Kyle Grueller, right-handed pitcher out of Houston Baptist University. So shout out to HBU, man. You got a guy. Cody Orr, outfielder out of Tiffin of Ohio. Jonathan Sprinkle, right-handed pitcher of Central Missouri. Peter Zinnerman, infielder of Missouri. Zach Matthews, right-handed pitcher of Oklahoma. And the little brother of Carlos Correa, J.C. Correa, shortstop, Lamar University. So those are so far the guys that they have signed that are undrafted free agents. Hopefully these guys can do something and really have that chip on their shoulders, because they're going in with $20,000 to start things out. So I really do believe in these guys. Hopefully they can make something out of it. But those are the undrafted free agents. So that was the MLB draft for 2020. It's a little bit unique. I hope that it doesn't stay like this. If anything, just keep it to 10 rounds. I think 10 rounds will be fine. Preferably, I would say 20, because think about it, you got to fill out your farm system as well with these guys. So you got to give them some players. But aside from that, though, I do think the Astros did pretty well for what they had been given for their draft picks. I think they got some really good guys. James Click, man, shout out to him, did a really good job, and you know, made best for what he had in his situation. And honestly, man, we're really gonna see how good James Click is, especially when he gets with these undrafted free agent deals, which honestly, already signing 9 guys, that's actually pretty good. But tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Which one of these guys are you excited to see maybe one day wear an Astros jersey? And so just put that in the comments. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to Saucy Sports TV so you guys get that other content on the other teams in H-Town, like the Astros, the Dynamo, and the Rockets. And if you guys want more of a discussion, make sure you guys join the Patreon, sign up for that $5 tier, and then you get put on the Discord where you can talk to guys like me, Ed, Wink, Tinny, Ray, whenever he wants to pop in there. You know, it's a good time, man. I highly recommend it. But yeah, without further ado, man, that's all I got. So chunking up a deuce. Y'all stay saucy.